In the last meeting, we talked a lot about the CAP presentation, as far as what you all are going to present to the city council for the most part. One of the things that was tasked for was for Nanu and Jacob to create a presentation, because Nanu talked about putting it in a format that correlates with the harm reduction and the way they do their work. And so this is an example of what Nanu has created. And I don't know, based off of, like, I briefly went through it, and based off what I saw, I didn't see any data and statistics, so this is pretty much still edited. But for the most part, this is exactly what the presentation it would look like. And so obviously black and yellow being the theme, and then Nanu did this on Canva. So this was one of the graphics, Jacob, that was incorporated to show kind of what the statistics that you all found. I did talk to Jacob Taylor about incorporating way more statistics, because I know that neighborhood and services and what is this, social context? Was that Sky and Joella? Was that y'all's social context? Keep forgetting.
Yes.
Yes, okay, perfect. I know that both of you all had graphics, and I want to incorporate as many graphics from you all's presentation as possible. And so this is a brief example of it as far as what was presented. So what I'm gonna do, just like I did last week, I'm gonna send this to you all right now. And while we're on this call, I want you all to briefly look at it and then tell, like, we can speak through to kind of what you all want to see, what you all think in general. We still have, I told Jacob about adding you all's input, because in the minutes, Layla did line by line put what you all specifically wanted in there. And so I've talked to Jacob Taylor about going back through, fine combing this, and really making sure that every single thing that everybody said is incorporated in there, so that you all's input is heard. So give me a second. I'm going to send this to the three of you. Okay. I just sent it to you all. When you get it, just give me a thumbs up that you got it. You got it, perfect. All right. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. Okay. As we go through this, you all go through it like slide by slide, and talk to, like, as a group, let's talk about what you see, what you don't see, what you want to see, all of those things now as well, outside of what you all said on the last meeting, but what you like, don't like, things of that nature. Because whatever is finalized here, and with Nanu and Jacob specifically, is what's going to be presented. Obviously, I know that some of you all won't have the bandwidth to come to the meeting. And so I'm trying to do my job to make sure that you all's input, and not only is your input included, but this is driven by what you all like and don't like. So I want to keep reiterating that I want to hear everybody's opinions. So take your time, go through this, and let me know if you have anything, and we can go through it slide by slide. It's just, Joella and Sky, line 16 is what I'm thinking, or slide 16 is what I'm thinking you all's data would go. So I believe Nanu left it open. So help me understand how you all were able to put that data the way you all did on your sheet, because I actually wasn't able to copy it over when I created like the quick template, because I do want to make sure that's incorporated. But I was having a hard time transferring that exact picture to a document.
So I actually created these graphs directly in Canva. What might be the most useful is for me, because I created these within the presentation. I've also before in Canva created them like separately, like on a white document,
Mm-hmm.
or I think they call it whiteboard on Canva
Mm-hmm.
specifically.
Mm-hmm.
But I can replicate these in the two graphs at least. I can replicate, we can probably replicate our little infographic, which Sky did the infographic, but I did the other one. So we can probably duplicate both of those. And what I could do is share them with you, and then it would be easier to import them into the current presentation. Does that sound good to you?
Yes, that sounds great. That's
Okay.
perfect. I didn't know you all did it in Canva, so yeah, that'll make it even a lot easier. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. I will just duplicate those and I'll make sure that they're, of course, in alignment with the rest of the design,
Mm-hmm.
since, the one that Nano put together is ensuring that it's cohesive with the other prepared materials that are going to be shared.
Yeah.
So I'll make sure that those graphs are redone so that they're more cohesive with the presentation as well.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely. Yeah. And I should have those to you, I would say Monday. Does
Yeah.
that
No
work?
worries. Mm-hmm.
Fabulous. Okay, perfect.
I need to give y'all an update actually. So April 30th is when I need to send the final copy of this document to the city as we present. And so, yes, Monday pretty much is ideal because it'll be 2 days before. And the presentation is going to be on April 12th at 4 p.m. So for those of you who can, oh, not April, sorry, May 12th at 4 p.m. So those of you who can attend, please come. Attire will be like business casual. Um, and yeah, that's the updates that I have for that. But I need to send it because I need to send the final presentation by April 30th. Everything needs to be finalized by then. So I will continue to talk to Nanu and Jacob to make sure that everything is finalized.
I have a suggestion
Yes.
for the healthcare access and quality slide.
What number is that?
Number 3 and 4.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I like the information it gives about like insurance and just grocery stores and stuff like that, but tying it, like using that information to tie more into harm reduction, I feel like would be a good take, because it kind of, our presentation is about harm reduction, and when it's being presented, it could come off as being about something else, and that, I feel like that will already lose your audience's attention if it's not what we said it was going to be about.
Yep. So we need to retailor this to make it fit the presentation as a whole.
Yeah.
Yep, that makes sense. And as you said, 3 and 4, I quickly scanned it. So 4 says suggestions or recommendations. My recommendation will be to move this essentially to the call and action part, but based off all the suggestions and recommendations that all of you all have, make that the call to action. That would be my recommendation as well. So that's good catch, Sky. So slide 3, and then potentially moving slide 4. Okay. Anything else?
I have a suggestion about each kind of like section or each pillar has their own suggestions of how to improve harm reduction within the city. And I don't know if they're going to do this for the call of action, but I think it'd be good to have an overall like bullet point goals of what the
for each section.
No, for overall for everything.
Okay.
Because I think in certain sections there are like the built environment has a section of improvements, and so does healthcare access and quality. So it'd be good just to have at the end like a summary of the goals that the city should do. Unless they're going to speak about that anyways in the call to action, but I don't just if they are.
All right, that makes sense. Yeah, so the call to action, so at slide 19, when it says call to action, we should make a slide 20 essentially that gives specifically what we're calling to action.
Yeah, unless they're just going to say it
Just
vocally.
say it out loud.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense too.
Just make sure they have like a clear list of exactly.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
And another suggestion, this is kind of a nitpicky thing, but it's kind of something that I've been encouraged to do in formal presentations as I've been preparing those this past year. But so our second slide has the 5 core pillars listed in whatever order, but the first one is healthcare access and quality, and then the last one is education access and quality, and then slide 3 actually starts with healthcare access. So this is kind of a nitpicky thing, but usually you would have slide number 2 would be in the order that those things will appear in your presentation. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense.
Since number 5 comes first, maybe it should be number 1 instead, or we can rearrange the order of the slides, whatever makes the most sense. I think it's kind of like a little picky detail, but it's just something that I've been encouraged to do when presenting formally that I thought I'd share.
Yeah, I think that's perfect because it should be, because it's supposed to tell a story, and the story is supposed to make sense. And so you said number 5 is the first one, education, but for me, number 3 is the first one.
Oh, okay. Let me
Check
healthcare
yours.
access. Did I flip this? Maybe I flipped this.
Probably did.
Okay. It could be, and I could have had my stuff out of order as I was looking. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. That's a good thing to catch because it should be like that. I agree. Now the question would be for you all, are you all okay? This is like a nitpicky thing for me. I'm very big on quick, easy visual, right? So number 3 or slide 2 is pretty much the table of contents that talks about the pillars. And slide 3 gets right into it with healthcare and access. Would you all want a slide in between this that says healthcare and access quality before getting into it? Or you all like it where it's like this, where it's healthcare access quality and the information right to it? Or do you not have a preference? That's also an option.
I kind of like the title slides just because I feel like it really guides your audience.
Yeah.
I think it depends. I've done presentations with and without those. So if other people have different preferences, that's totally fine. Like it's not a deal breaker to me.
Yeah.
But personally, I do like those like section headers where it will just have the title of what this section is.
Right.
So that it's really clear to your audience as you're switching between these things to help give them the context.
Okay.
So I do like those.
Sky?
I was gonna say I agree with Joella simply because what she said, and it helps break things down easier. So you're not going from wordy slide to wordy slide. You have like a break for your eyes, if that makes sense.
I completely agree. Jacob?
Yeah, I also agree because even going through the slide right now, the slideshow, it's not that difficult, but it is just a lot of words on each slide. You get to almost separate, especially since we already say there are 5 pillars.
Yep.
So,
yeah. Okay. All right. I'll talk to Nanu about that. Typically, that's how I mentally do things as well. Like I just like a break in the visual of it. For some reason, it's like my eye starts to kind of hurt when I see a lot of words, and then my brain disassociates. And so I get it. So that's something we can incorporate. Any other suggestions? Oh, Jacob, I know we talked about the fact that there's one graphic. I've talked to Jacob Taylor about incorporating more graphics. Is that what you were talking about last week as far as incorporating more?
Yeah, I think that would be good for sure. And even if like there's a time restraint, they could honestly take out the rehabilitation center slide. Because I think that's great, but I really don't know what the city council would utilize that for, and they could do their own research for that as well.
Yeah.
I think the data would just be more important for the
right.
And then I had one more like very small suggestion.
Yep.
But on slide 9, the first bullet point where it says expand outreach projects in partnership with Twin City, can you put or Nano put in partnership with Twin City and other harm reduction organizations in Winston-Salem? I don't want Twin City to be the only that city council believes they can.
Okay, that makes sense. I'll when we play this back, I'll make sure that's an edit as far as something I gather, because that is a good suggestion, because it's not solely about one partnership, but partnership with other harm reduction efforts within the city. That's a great catch. Question, random question. How do y'all feel with all of this? Like, do you feel proud? Do you feel exhausted? Do you feel kind of overwhelmed? Like, what is the sense of what you all feel as you are looking towards the end result of your project, essentially?
I personally feel good. Like, I don't think it took it didn't take a lot out of me. It's kind of like a break in a sense too. And I learned a lot because I didn't really know about harm reduction before starting this. So just the research aspect and then seeing everybody else's information being tied in was really good.
Yeah, I agree with Sky. I feel like this felt very manageable from my standpoint, even as somebody who has like a very overloaded schedule right now, and is not always doing the best about juggling all the things. I think it's also really helpful that, I mean, I'm seeing other groups too, but I know I can speak to my experience with working directly with Sky. And then, of course, we were looping in Nano here, but I've worked with Sky and Nano before last semester on an extended project, and they are wonderful collaborators. So I'm always happy to work with them. And I feel like Sky said, it's also been nice to see other folks work too. I think everybody has put a lot into this. I hope it wasn't overwhelming for other folks, but it's been very enlightening, both the individual research we did and then seeing what other people are finding too. I have really enjoyed.
Yeah, I'm definitely in the same boat. This was very insightful, especially for the city of Winston-Salem. I feel like I know a little bit more about it. And I actually utilized this information for a school project, or I guess like the final project for one of my classes. So yeah, it definitely wasn't like a burden or anything. And I even utilized the information more and researched more for that final project. So yeah, I'm very happy with the input.
That's great. That's good to know. I love that, because I would definitely be using this like as the next cab for the next school year. Like, I want to, as I tell the story as far as what you all did, this is going to be something that's going to be the highlight, because you all, I feel like you all did a great job. So congratulations and kudos to all of you.
Thank you. And thanks for keeping us on track.
Yeah. Yes, I definitely get that. Yeah, I feel like in the beginning it can be like, this is kind of a lot. So yeah, I definitely understand that. Thank y'all for being teachable. That's also key. Any other things based off what you've seen, what you've read?
I think I'm good.
For the most part. Okay. Yeah.
No suggestions for me.
All right. I'm going to I'm sure you're gonna say the same thing, Joella. What I'm gonna do, like I said, I need to turn this in by April 30th. And so I'll work with Jacob and Nanu to finalize this, incorporate everybody's suggestions, make it as digestible as possible. One of the things I'm considering now is the fact that I believe it's a 5 to 7 minute window. Now that seems small, but like when you're actually just speaking, and especially when you've looked at this project 300 times and you've seen the same words and everything, 5 to 7 minutes is going to feel like a lot of time when you're sitting there, because you can get through a slide in essentially 10 to 15 seconds. And so I want to make sure that it is manageable for the audience that is going to be able to hear this information, but I also want to distribute it to them as well. I think they're going to have a lot to chew on. I think it's going to really speak to the value and the volume of work that you all have put out as far as the research that you all have done. And so for everybody who's going to come, I don't want you to feel like 5 to 7 minutes is small. It's actually a very, very, very long time. And so, yeah, I'm going to, once this is finalized, I want to send it out to all of you all, so you see the final, like the finished product of pretty much what's going to be presented. Yep. That's pretty much all I have. I know this is the last meeting. Another thing I do want to say is that I'll be sending out surveys to you all. Now, these surveys are going to be pretty much how you felt, what you thought for this school year. I want to start collecting data as far as the experiences that students have when they come within the city of Winston-Salem. I'm going to put a section in there that talks about testimonials, like things that you want to say and brag about, and for as far as your relationship with one another and the program. I understand that you all are students, it's finals and everything. So to be transparent, it's like I want to make the survey as simple and as easy as possible, but I also want to collect a whole lot of data. And so I'm working mentally through it would be great for me personally if I can give you 50 questions and you all answer them, but that may be overwhelming. That's just the way my mind works. So 10 questions may be better, right? So just know that if it's too long, my apologies. Know my heart is to really collect data. But I'm gonna try to make it as easy as possible. I wanna do some open-ended answers for you all to do, but I also wanna do like a scale of like a 1 to 10. Hey, how do you feel about this? So it'll be a variety of different type of questions. So let's say it's 30 questions, but 25 of them are the 1 to 10 questions. That may not feel as overwhelming. So I'm going to try to mix it up as much as possible. But I really want to know about your experience and different things that you like. And for me, I know I'm going to get like very detailed. For example, like how did you all feel I did within the program? I want an honest feedback about that. Was I not effective? Was there certain things that I didn't do well on? And if you say there's not, I would say you're lying, because I know there's certain things I could do better on. I'm always trying to be of a growth mindset. So I'm trying to do this better for the next generation of people. And so please feel free to be as transparent as possible during this feedback. I've even encouraged some people in one-on-one phone calls that I've had, like, if you just want to send me an email separately and give me your honest feedback, that would be helpful, because the only way for me in my mind to make this program better in 5 years is to track how people actually felt while they were in this program. So I just wanted to put that out there, because I just want you all to know that a survey will be coming. And I really want you all to be as honest as possible within that survey feedback. Any questions, comments, concerns?
I had one question.
Mhm.
Is like the application process for like the next school year, is it gonna be like around the same time that it was last semester?
I would have to look back at it, because I remember during the application process, I got here in August, so I was very, very new. So I don't remember
Okay.
how that went. So I'll ask Dr. Christian about that.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. No questions, comments, concerns? Presentation looks good. Well, I want to thank you all so much for being a part of this process. I know this is going to be the last time I see maybe some of you all will come to the presentation, but I want to say that it's been a pleasure, like an absolute pleasure, to lead you all and guide you all within my essentially first school year for you all, as far as me being at the city. I thank you all for the community service opportunities that you are a part of. I thank you for your commitment to this program. And I'm looking to, again, continue to expand the efforts that we do. And you all will be essentially like my first cohort that really piloted me as far as propelling me to continue to do this work. So I really thank you all. You all have been nothing but a blessing to me. And I just encourage you all to continue to grow in your personal lives, take stuff that you've learned here and grow in there. And again, as the survey comes out, just look forward to that. And just give me as much data as you can. I know that sometimes mentally in life, we're all at different places. And so do as much as you can, but any feedback is appreciated. Thank you all. Thank you all. Well, if there's nothing else, you all can go. I appreciate everybody's time.
Thank you for your commitment. Have a great one.
Thank y'all.
Yes, thank you for facilitating this program.
Yes.
I
Yep.
think it's been great, and I really liked being a part of it. So.
That's great.
I agree. Yes, thank you so much, Colbert. I have enjoyed. I feel badly that I haven't had more to dedicate with being a little overloaded, but everything that I've been able to be a part of with TAB, I have really enjoyed and appreciated. You and all the other cohorts that I've had. So thank you.
Yep. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good Friday.
You too.
Bye.
You too. Bye.